to Crankin Crafts. My name is Puna, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do this tomato cage tree. We call it a tomato cage because it's made on a tomato cage base, and we're going to be wrapping it with some star garland and tinsel. So for this project, the supplies that you're going to need are some star garland in your color choice, and it's just this little with the cute stars on it. Wired tinsel like this, and also a tomato cage. And this is just the, like, not a colored one or anything, it's just a plain tomato cage base. So what we're going to do to start off with, I'm going to start from the top and go work my way down to the bottom. So I'm just going to drop this down like this. So to begin with, I gathered all three of these pieces, you can see this, and together, and I just started wrapping the star garland around it, and I just want to make sure that they kind of stay together like this. So I just really easily wrapped it around it, and then you're going to start wrapping your star garland around your tomato cage. Now you don't want to wrap it too tight, because if you do that, you're going to end up with a triangular looking tree rather than like a round cone looking tree. So I'm just going to loosely wrap around. And the other thing about wrapping tightly is if you pull on it and wrap tighter, you're going to end up getting a whole bunch of stuff gathered at the top and not so much down at the rest of the tree. So I'm just going to wrap around. These first few wraps, you don't need to do anything to anchor them. They're pretty much going to stay in place. But after you get down to about 4 or 5 wraps, you're going to want to take your hot glue gun and put a little dab of glue. Let's see if I can do this where you can see it. Put a little dab of glue, and then we're just going to move the wired garland right on top of that. And that's just going to do, and you don't have to do it a lot, you just want to do it every so often here and there so that it will anchor everything down. So, oh, and I got a little tangled. But we're going to keep wrapping around like this. And just work our way down, and at this point, gluing every few wraps. Like when you start to see it's like, oh, it's kind of working its way up on me, and you don't want it to move, I'll just go right back and do another little dab of glue and hold the wire over it. Oops. Oh, I wiped it off. Now the nice thing about the hot glue and this wire and the tomato cage and all this is that it's not going to be a permanent hold. So later on, if you want to change up the colors or if you want to take it apart, you can always do that really easily. But for now, you're just going to glue it on there just so that it holds its shape for now. Okay, so I've actually done a little bit more of this, worked my way down further, doing the same thing, wrapping around and gluing here and there. There's a piece here, there's another glue piece right somewhere here. So just as long as it keeps its shape, you can just tack it on here and there. So you're going to continue to wrap all the way around. It gets a little bit trickier down here at the bottom just because the loops get bigger. I'm going to make another little tack right there. Just because the loops get a little bit bigger. So it does get a little bit trickier. You're going to end up towards the bottom having to tack your wire on more often. So you're going to work your way all the way down. This is actually my second roll also of the wire tinsel. On the green one over here, I've actually used 3 rolls of the wire tinsel, and on this one I'm only going to use 2. So just depending on how tightly you wrap and how close your wraps are to each other is also going to determine how much tinsel you use or you're going to need. So at least 2 rolls. If you want more, if you want to be able to wrap more, you're going to look at having to use 3. So, and anyway, we're going to go all the way down to the bottom like this. And still tacking here and there. Just so that you can kind of help it to keep its shape. And then when you have that to where you want it to be, where you like it, you're going to go ahead and put on the star garland. And it's going to do the same thing. You're going to start at the top. The star garland, though, because this is already held in its shape, you're not going to need to tack. All I did was make sure you got the top part kind of anchored down well, and then you're just going to wrap around. And I didn't have to use the the hot glue gun for the star garland at all. Mainly, I think also because the wire tinsel kind of helps it to stay on. So, and it's just going to be a really loose wrap all the way around. And so for the green tree, I also used 3 things of star garland. And again, you can use less or more. I think 2 is probably going to be the least amount that you're going to need. That's pretty much it. When you're done with it, you're just going to wrap the end of the star garland around and then use wire cutters to cut it off if you have any excess. And that's it. Thanks for joining us.